Hi, my dear NEET students, IIT-JEE students. Welcome to BMS Academy, Bhanu Moorthy's Academy of Physics of NEET and IIT Entrance Coaching Center. Welcome to this video class number 10. In the last video class number 9, we discussed about friction part 1. Now in this video class, we are discussing about friction part 2. The remaining topics in friction. Okay, shall we discuss now? Very quick. Now already I written here on the board for the sake of the students. Okay, it's a clear variation between smooth inclined surface and a rough inclined surface. Okay, so in smooth inclined surface, what is happening? A block of mass 2 kg is dropped from the top of a smooth inclined surface of length L 1 meter. And angle of inclination theta equals to 45 degrees. So when the block is left itself, it is dropped from the top of the inclined surface and then it reaches the bottom of the inclined surface in time t. Then it possesses some acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so some acceleration it possesses because as it reaches the ground at bottom end, its gravity increases, the speed increases. So it possesses some acceleration. My dear students, so first topic we are going to discuss, that is acceleration of the block. So as the block reaches the bottom end of the surface, its acceleration becomes A equals to g sine theta. How can you get here? Because there is no friction in the backward direction, because it's a smooth surface, so there is no backward direction friction. So only this gravity force is present, that is mg sine theta. F equals to mg sine theta, but F equals to ma according to Newton's second law. So mm gets cancelled, then A equals to g sine theta, my dear students. So if angle of inclination is 45 degrees given to you in the problem, then acceleration will get it. So g into sine 45. Okay, sine 45 1 by root 2. So if the angle of inclination is 30 degrees, so then A equals to acceleration equals to g into sine 31 by 2. So g by 2. So if g value is mentioned, you can calculate acceleration of the block. So my dear NEET and IIT-JEE students, so NEET students are going to write entrance examination in the month of May 7th, 2023, and at the same time IIT-JEE students are also appearing for second shift, April shift entrance examination. So for these two students, this information is valuable because you can get maximum benefit from this coaching. Okay, now velocity, my dear students, we are going to discuss velocity of the block at the bottom, velocity at the bottom of the surface. So how can you calculate the velocity at the bottom end? So this is under root 2gl, root over 2gl sine theta. So how can you get third equation we are applying here? So v square minus u square equals to 2as. This is third equation. So v square means v square minus 0 square equals to 2. A value already got it here. Acceleration g sine theta. You can substitute here. You will get it. Okay. L value substitute, you 1 meter. Okay. So then this is the information about velocity at the bottom end of the smooth inclined surface. Let us go to time of fall quickly. Okay. Time of fall t equals under root of root over 2L over g sine theta, where s equals to half a t square. S then s means length of the surface displacement, that is L. Then half a value g sine theta I can put here, and t square. Finally, you will get a t value on root over 2L over g sine theta. So just theta value they will mention here, and the L value they will mention. You can calculate time of fall, time to reach the bottom end of the smooth inclined surface. My dear students, so this is the information about smooth inclined surface. Let us go to rough inclined surface quickly. Okay. Now let us assume that the block is at rest position, stationary on the rough inclined surface of length L and as well as angle of inclination theta 30 degrees. Okay. So when the block is at rest position, stationary position, then it experiences four forces in their respective directions. Okay, so this is a frictional force which is opposing the motion of the block because it's a rough surface, so friction exists now. In the previous case there was a smooth surface, there is no friction at all, only gravity force is existing, but here two forces, so the surface is offering some resistance, that is called as static friction. The block is at rest position. Static friction balances with mg sin theta. Okay, then normal force balances with mg cos theta. So this is the resolution of weight of the block, mg sin theta, and along the surface mg cos theta normal to the surface. Okay, so Fs balances with mg sin theta and N balances with mg cos theta in their respective directions. Then the ratio, if we do cos theta, sin theta by cos theta, that is tan theta, equals to Fs by N. Fs by N means what? Coefficient of static friction, my dear students. According to the definition, coefficient of static friction is the ratio of static frictional force to the normal force. So by the definition you will get this. So coefficient of static friction is equals to, numerically equivalent to, tangent of angle of friction. Okay, if tangent of angle of friction that is given, angle of inclination is given 30 degrees, say tan 30 value equals to 1 by root 3. If angle of inclination is 60 degrees given, this is root 3, coefficient of static friction. If angle of inclination is 45 degrees is given, then coefficient of static friction value is 1. My dear NEET and as well as IIT-JEE students, this is the most important relation between coefficient of static friction as well as angle of inclination. But what about this alpha and phi? Generally the students don't know about phi, but they don't offer alpha. Okay, alpha means angle of repose. Angle of repose means what? It is the angle of inclination at which the block is ready to slide. Not sliding at rest position, but ready to slide. So that angle is called as angle of inclination, that is repose. So it is the angle of inclination at which the block ready to slide tends to move, tends to slide downwards. Okay, then these two angles are equal, of course. So angle of inclination 30 means angle of repose also 30 degrees when the block is ready to slide on the surface. My dear students, what is meant by phi? Phi is the angle of friction. What is meant by angle of friction? It is the angle made by, I am representing here on the board. Okay, so this is the angle made by the resultant of frictional force as well as normal force with the normal force. This is angle of friction. Okay, it is the angle made by the resultant of these two forces with the normal force. That is angle of friction. So, my dear students, if angle of friction and angle of inclination both are equal, then the block is ready to slide down. So, this is the condition. When the block is ready to slide down, okay, these two angles are equal. So all these equations represent the same. Either angle of inclination, angle of repose, angle of friction all are equal, then the block is ready to slide. Very important relation this is for entrance point of view, both NEET as well as IIT-JEE. Okay. Now let us move to second case, in the case of rough inclined surface. Okay, when the block, let us assume the block is sliding down. Now it is not ready to slide, it is sliding down. Okay, so when the block slides down, it experiences how many forces? That is a question. So two forces it experiences along the surface. One is pulling force of gravity, next one is frictional force. Two forces. But they are not equal in this case because the block is sliding down. So they are not equal. Okay. So downward force dominates over frictional force because its gravity is dominating over frictional force. So the net force becomes equals to what? So pulling force, gravity force minus frictional force because they are in opposite direction. Okay. Subtraction is the resultant force. So pulling force is mg sin theta and frictional force is mu s, Fs equals to mu s into n. N is mg cos theta. So mu mg cos theta. The subtraction represents what? Net downward force. So my dear students, remember this point. So the net force acting on the block sliding downwards is P minus Fs. So subtracting here, then you get acceleration of the block, then g into sine theta minus mu s cos theta. Okay, next one, what is that? Velocity. Velocity on reaching the bottom end of the surface is velocity equals to 1 root over 2gl sine theta minus mu cos theta. Because it is under root 2as. S value is L here. S value is L. But A value, you substitute this value here. A value. So finally we will get under root over 2gl into sine theta minus mu cos theta. I think you are understanding very well. Okay, derivative part it is. But equations you should remember. Okay. So time of fall just like this is equal to half a square, like this same method. Okay. So but here 2l by g into sine theta minus mu s cos theta. So in all these cases, so this is a rough inclined surface, mu factor takes place. My dear NEET and as IIT-JEE aspirants, so this is the most important information I given in this video class number 10 regarding friction part 2. Okay, so in the next video class number 11, I am going to present the center of mass topic. Okay, so it will be helpful to you for entrance examination, both NEET as well as IIT-JEE entrance pupils or aspirants. Okay, so if you like this video, share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell button. Okay, so and do viral this information to these videos to your friend circle as maximum as possible. So my dear students, see you bye in the next video class number 11 regarding center of mass. I am going to present. Bye, see you.